welcome to the BoshNRoll channel. If you want to support my daily Eternal Magic offerings while getting amazing perks like the BoshNRoll Discord community, have me play your deck on the channel, or listen sideboard guides before tournaments, check out the Patreon or YouTube membership program. This channel is possible because of these amazing sponsors. Check them out, all their links are in the video description. As always, thanks for being here. Let's go play some Magic.
Welcome back to the BoshNRoll channel. Today I'm playing Legacy at the request of Patreon subscriber That Maverick Joe, and this is Bant Maverick. Joe is a Maverick aficionado who is really into a blue splash in the deck, and he's sent me 6 or 7 different lists that are all wildly different and trying different cards. He's willing to try anything, and I appreciate that brewer spirit. He basically sent me all those shells and said, tune it to how you would have fun playing it. And while I'm not a Maverick player, I am a Bant player. To me, the core identity of Maverick is Green Sun Zenith and Knight of the Reliquary. That's what I think of when the deck Maverick comes up, and so we need some toolbox of green creatures and some toolbox of lands, and from there we can debate what's an essential Maverick card or not. But that's the core identity. The Knight of the Reliquary test is a shortcut that some people use to determine if Legacy is healthy. Like, are you embarrassed to put Knight of the Reliquary on the stack, or to register Knight of the Reliquary in Legacy? If yes, then Legacy is probably unhealthy. And guess what? We're not in a great format for Knight of the Reliquary. But we can try to address that with things like a bunch of main deck endurances, Collector Oof in the anti-combo Zenith package, Keen Eye Curator to beat up those graveyards. And to keep up with the decks that are just going nuts, we've got a little Nadu package of our own. Nadu can be found with Green Sun Zenith, of course. This is among the more fair Nadu decks you could possibly register. Nadu Zenith is its own archetype that is like a thing you could click on MTG Goldfish and look at Nadu Zenith lists. That's not what we're doing. There's no Nomads and Core. What there are Giver of Runes, Mother of Runes, Sylvan Safekeeper, Scrib Ranger, Scythecat Cub, and a single Tenchuko. And I guess we can count Karakas in there technically. That could get Nadu triggering on the slow. Nadu's also just a 2-for-1 if they try to answer it, because it will trigger and you get a card. Joe was stapling together his Nadu package with Urza Saga. He had 2 Urza Sagas in his list. And while, of course, I like the card Urza Saga, that does make a lot of things awkward. You can't just have Shuko to tutor. We need, what, 2, 3 minimum? Minimum 2, probably 3 to be really responsible 1-drops to tutor. That eats up a bunch of slots. Having 2 or 3 Urza Sagas in the land base eats up a bunch of slots. And I just didn't want to do that. So I decided to staple it together with Bright Glass Gearhulk, a card that I'm very excited to have in a Legacy deck. GG, WW, 4/4 First Strike Trample, Zenithable, of course. When this creature enters, you may search your library for up to 2 artifact, creature, and or enchantment cards with mana value 1 or less, reveal them, put them into your hand, and shuffle. That's Shuko, that's Giver, that's Mother, that's Reclaimer, Hierarch, Safekeeper, Deafening Silence, Carpet of Flowers. This thing gets a lot of pieces, and I'm pretty excited to have a really diverse toolbox within my toolbox. Zenith for 4 suddenly tutors up an anti-combo card or a combo card of my own, or both. That's sweet, and I hope it comes together at least once. In the unfair matchups, we just gotta kind of slow them down with cards like Endurance and the Oof and the Gaddock Teague and all the sideboard cards. In the fair matchups, we have Remnant of Excavator to put them in a Wasteland lock. The more we Wasteland them, the more Knight of the Reliquary grows, and that eventually becomes the win con. Keen Eye Curator gets huge pretty quick too, even in fair matchups. I'm excited to play this. I am, of course, dubious about the position of Maverick in the current metagame, but I have taken Joe's advice and chocked it full of cards that I would be having fun playing, and that's what I'm going to focus on. Let's do it. This is Bant Maverick. I'm on the draw in round 1. I'm going to keep... My hand's got a bunch of mana in the form of Noble Hierarchs. I have some protection versus fast combo with Endurance. I can Wasteland this Urza Saga. Soul Guide Lantern, alright. I probably just want to waste the Saga. Nobody leading on Urza Saga is up to any good, because that means they're either going to accelerate activations with Ancient Tomb, or they're going to ignore making constructs entirely and tutor something that kills me. All right, this looks like it is Mystic Forge combo, and there's a good chance we're just dead. All right, there's card. This gets the Mycosynth lattice, or not the lattice, the little one, the liquid metal coating, and then kills my lands for the rest of the game. Bad news, team. I guess I play Noble Hierarch and just try to tread water against this somehow, though I don't even know what that realistically looks like. Urza's Tower. And they can blow up Horizon Canopy. They can't blow up Noble Hierarch. And Hierarch does have power and toughness. Even if I can't tap it for mana, I can still attack with it, and it will trigger. If they have nothing, I could keep playing this game. If they have anything, I'm cooked. All right. I've lost this game. Welcome to the current metagame. All right, Force of Vigor, Outland Liberator come in. 3 Consigned to Memories. Probably want Deafening Silence. Definitely want Prismatic Ending. Gaddock Teague shuts down their whole deck. I got Deafening Silence in the maybe pile. I have struggled against Mystic Forge combo with other decks where I bring in Deafening Silence and it slows them down a little, but it slows me down a lot. But this isn't a Ponder Brainstorm deck, so I won't be like fidgeting for answers. Yeah, I probably do just want that card. Thraben Charm can kill Urza Saga, but basically nothing else. I don't think I want that. Okay. Endurance does not matter. Sylvan Safekeeper doesn't matter. Swords of Plowshares matters a little bit. Mother of Runes doesn't matter. Their cards are colorless. Giver of Runes, though, the one of, coming in big here. Collector Oof, among the most important cards I can have. I've got a Boseiju in. I could cut Bajuka Bog if I want to keep one of these spells. Like maybe having Sylvan Safekeeper available can protect a Collector Oof. Or would I rather have another Plow so I don't die to Glaring Fleshraker after locking down everything else they're able to do? Keen-Eyed Curator brings the beats. Maybe I don't need that, though. Yeah, their graveyard just doesn't matter. Okay. Big sideboard. Let's try it. Okay, pretty good. I'm going to keep. And I have Consigned to Memory to survive turn 1, then Gaddock Teague to turn off their deck after that. Blue Splash coming in big. Opponent's on a Multi 6. Planar Nexus. Voltaic Key. I think that's fine. I'm just going to draw for turn. I found Tundra. That means I don't have to fetch Trop with the Misty. I could just get a Savannah. Now I wish I had Lush Porticoed in the end step, but it's fine. I'm going to get Savannah. Savannah, Caracas, Teague. All right, let's hope they can't cast any cards. That's Karn, Mystic Forge, Kozilek's Command, and the One Ring that they can't play now. If they get a Glaring Fleshraker down... Oh, I missequenced this. If I was going to wasteland them, I should have played Tundra last turn. Man, Maverick's hard. I'm going to play Scythecat Cub then. Hit my land drop. Gas up Teague. And start beating. I'm holding up Consign. I think that's more important. But if they resolve a Glaring Fleshraker and then play a bunch of little stuff, they might be able to get some traction. I think they would need like Portable Hole. Or some creature pivot that I've never seen. Yeah, I don't even know. All right. I can't cast Zenith, unfortunately. That is the non-bow with Gaddock Teague. All right, keep powering Teague up. Wasteland this Planar Nexus. That cuts off a bunch of their mana. Noble Hierarch. It's worth more damage to attack with both creatures than get the Exalted Trigger. All right, we took turns not playing the game. We love that. And now I'm on the draw. My deck does not change. I have the good cards in and the bad cards out. There's not a lot of nuance to play draw here. Okay, Force of Vigor and Deafening Silence. Hopefully I get a turn or I get a pinch point with Force of Vigor. Like if they do a Monolith Key line, I can destroy 2 things in response to untapping the Monolith, then jam Silence. But if they have 4 mana in spite of that, it doesn't matter. Wow, opponent mulled to 3. You're saying there's a chance. Okay, I don't think I want Horizon Kid to be in the mix if it doesn't have to be. I'm just going to stick this Deafening Silence. Savannah, Silence. Shut up. In the Multi 3, they might just not care that much about that. Giver, okay. I think I want to keep Dryad Arbor to pitch to Force of Vigor, and then just make land drops otherwise. Dryad Arbor is green. Lotus Petal, that's your spell. I can't get my Surveil land here because I want to play Nadu this turn. And I need blue for that. Ooh, is Knight better than Nadu? Okay, Tropical Island is in play. Knight can start wasting them. I can start flipping with Nadu immediately, though. Alright. I'm going to play Nadu and start getting the card advantage. If they play a spell, it's free for me to flip a card. If they don't, I have to respect Kozilek's command. And they're done! We did it! A non-game game 1, non-game game 2 in the other direction, and then a Malta 3 really helped me get my feet under me here, but we did it. Maverick, unbeatable. On to the next round. The BoshNRoll channel is brought to you by Tales of Adventure. TOAMagic.com has almost 100,000 unique cards in stock. They offer free track shipping on every order, plus next day or 2-day options when you have an event coming up fast. They offer on-site pickup at major Magic events throughout the US, so you're never scrambling before your tournament. Stop by their booth to buy, sell, or trade at upcoming regional championships, MagicCon, Spotlight Series, and more. I love their selection of individually scanned high-end cards that show you exactly what you're buying. And the best part is saving 5% on every order with promo code BOSH. From Ancestral Recall to Zombie Master, get what you need quickly and in one place at TOAMagic.com. Eternal lives here. I'm on the play in round 2. I'm going to keep my hand. Boseiju Wastelander interaction. I have lines at Gearhulk. Please, opponent, want to play more than 2 turns of Magic with me. I'm just going to fetch Savannah because I need my mana to work. Gearhulk does ask a lot of your mana. Dryad Arbor just glued to my opening hand this league. As usual. Underground Sea. Thoughtseize. No, my Gearhulk! Sad. Tragic. Truly tragic. Now they can reanimate it? This is bullshit. Ooh, well, I think I have to play around Daze here with the Knight. I do have a Bajuka Bog in the Knight package, which is good against most things that Underground Sea would want to do. In for 2. Noble Hierarchs stacking up. Love that for me. Marsh Flats. Is that card in Reanimator? I'm trying right now to really dial in on what cards could tip me off, whether they're Tempo or Reanimator. Alright, well, they're Reanimator. Oh, did they tutor 2 Netherglyphs? That would be so busted. 2 Tamios? No, I've been betrayed. Oh god. Life is pain. Oh, but I can Boseiju that. Alright, it's not that bad. I mean, it's bad. Force pitching Tamio that they just fucking drew off my card. Disgraceful, disrespectful shit. I am enraged. Alright, they do have the land to keep playing. The first damage ever done in Legacy by a Breakglass Gearhulk, and it was stolen from me. I can't afford to fetch blue here, and I have 2 Hierarchs anyway, so Surveil land it is. Alright, Swords to Plowshares. I'll keep that. Plow Tamio. And I can Boseiju the Gearhulk anytime. And then they just reanimate it again and get 2 more Tamios. They are at 6, though. This damage race does not favor them. Yeah, I don't think ramping them is the best use of my resource here. Okay, there's a fetch. Well, the card Reanimate is mostly off here, and Boseiju does check Animate Dead. If they Thoughtseize me, they can't take Boseiju anyway. They know this card is here. There's no secrets. Entomb, dumping some big dumper. Trax is there. Is that just to get it out of the deck? Or... because they can't reanimate. Murktide. Alright, well, that one works. That's quite big. It's bigger than my stuff. Alright, Swords of Plowshares off the top. Another one. Right to the Reliquary. I mean... that's a pretty big dumper. It's bigger than Brightglass Gearhulk. I don't have a Mazavith in the deck, though, to check Murktide Regent. But this does win the combat. If they attack with Murktide, I go to 3, and then I attack back and kill them. Or they could just have a basic removal spell played by anyone. Wasteland. They'll probably waste Dryad Arbor. Or they'll save it for Animate Dead post-combat, because I have to kill the Brightglass Gearhulk now. We're still in this, and Endurance could chump block for a turn. Swords to Plowshares stabilizes. Alright, well, I'm gonna block and then kill it. I don't think this deck has Stifle in it, but I'm going to make sure I don't lose to a Stifle here. They got an untapped land representing Brazen Borrower, which is itself a lethal threat. Alright, now Swords of Plowshares doesn't save me. Was I just supposed to chump block, but then I lose 2 lands this cycle? Barrowgoyf, alright. I'm less scared of that than Brazen Borrower. but I need an answer to Murktide here, and that's not it. Okay, I mean, that did come down to clutch interaction at multiple points. We did put up a bit of a fight. Veil, Carpet, Macabre, Prismatic Ending, Thraben Charm. Cards that are worse. I like Giver and Mother. These get worse if they have Bowmasters in their list, but not every list does right now. Collector Oof doesn't matter. Endurance matters a lot. Maybe I'm supposed to board out Nadu when they're a better combo deck than me and just focus on getting scrappy in the red zone. Scrib Ranger can brick Murktide Region forever. Sylvan Safekeeper is mostly a Nadu card. I have the Mothers and Givers, the various Runes family members for that. Well, I like all my other cards at this point. Sideboard map is off by 1, it seems. I guess without Juko in the deck, the Gearhulk's bad. Alright, we found the line. Sorry, Gearhulk, you betrayed me. Now you get sideboarded out. You piece of shit. I'm mad at you personally. On the play, I will keep this. I'm gonna pass with Veil of Summer to protect me. And then if they don't challenge my Veil of Summer right now, then I play Mother of Runes with Veil still up next turn. Ponder's fine. Now I get Lush Portico and make it look like I did this on purpose. They did shuffle that Ponder. Lush Portico. I don't want Tundra. I have no blue cards left in my deck. Plains, Mother. And my hand's pretty good. We'll see if they can pick it apart. Like a Thoughtseize backed by Daze, then set up a combo. Like there's lines here that can break me up. But I am in good position to have good interaction. They shuffled again. So 2 shuffles, 2 ponders. Untapped with Mother of Runes. We're in the clear there. I don't think I'm going to jam this Knight into Daze if I can be patient instead. End step, we're going to see a Surveil land. Oh no. Alright, please cast into him, please cast into him, please cast into him. Hell yeah. Alright, they're on the hook for something here. Can't counter a Fairy Macabre. Atrax is in the garbage. Wasteland, okay. Animate Dead. Fairy Macabre, exile Atraxa, and I'll take Ponder to make Murktide smaller. Okay, that worked out great. We got a 2-for-1. Can we continue moving forward in this universe? I'm going to fetch Dryad Arbor in the end step to get that shit out of my deck. Do I have tech lands left? Thinking about this fetch land. No. So I could just fetch to Thin. Alright, I think I'm going to cast Knight of the Reliquary now with Veil of Summer up. Right, there's a Force. Do they have the Daze also? Basic Forest. Veil of Summer. Can we get another 2-for-1? Oh yeah. I mean, I don't get a Knight, but I just him to Tarok them twice after him Tarocking them. They've been triple Tarocked. Another Entomb. Alright, well, if they top deck or reanimate, it's not going to matter. Thoughtseize. Well, my plow's gone. They are Hellbent, though. This would be a great turn to draw an Endurance, a Green Sun Zenith, Keen-Eye Curator, something good. Some banger. Alright, I will count Elvish Reclaimer as a banger. If I untap with this, we are safe because Bojuka Bog is in my deck. Let's see if they waste the Dryad Arbor to save damage. Nope. Alright. Fade. One more turn, deck, please. Tameo. Okay. I can spin up Caracas to deal with that. Ooh, baby. How about Keen-Eye Curator? Now I don't even have to think about the Caracas. Though Caracas does enter tapped and then they can waste it. That's not ideal. Hell yeah. Maverick. Alright, now we're on the draw. Endurance and Fairy Macabre, my important cards. They've now seen Fairy Macabre, but the construction of these decks now, they don't have a full juke anymore. They have to leave their reanimates in. Yeah, there's... The only thing that's worth even thinking about is, do I want Nadu in? Do I want that gear available? And I think with the pressure their deck provides, you just don't have room for those 3 cards if you want this sideboard to work. Alright, Fairy Macabre again. And Endurance, and green card. Oh, double graveyard cover. Dryad Arbor glued to my opening hand, as usual, but in this case, I don't mind it. Ponder. I'm going to lead on Tundra, because if they wasteland that, I don't care. No blue cards in the list. Did not shuffle Ponder this time. Tundra, Giver. Giver can't protect herself, so if they're holding a Fatal Push, they just get access to that forever. But they can't push anything else. Still a Lightning Rod, though not a hard counter. Entomb, uh-oh. Oh no, please don't reanimate. No, no, don't do it. Stop. Wow. The macabre. Feel like you gotta send it there. But I am glad to have Fairy Macabre. No shortage of graveyard hate in the construction of this deck. Yeah, they said in the chat they weren't sure if they should Dirtle for Thoughtseize or just go for it. And my real answer to that is, is it getting better? Is the question. If you wait, will your position improve or not? Because I'll have more resources on future turns. Like if your hand is 2 Ponders or like a Tameo that can start digging, maybe it's better to wait. But if your hand is just like not that, or if you have Force or Daze to back it up and I need specifically Fairy Macabre to go for it, then the send makes sense. Put me to the test. For what it's worth, we all know at home that Thoughtseize wouldn't have helped because I have 2 answers. They would need Thoughtseize and Counterspell. Right, that Ponder shuffled. The Giver has something to protect now. And I'm into Hardcast Endurance at this point. Misty Rainforest, alright. Sign me up for that. I'm going to fetch the Lush Portico. That taps me out of Endurance, but I wouldn't play it into Daze anyway. If I have this Dryad Arbor I don't care about that I can pitch. Ramanap Excavator, I mean, I'll keep that on top. I don't want them reanimating it, and it lets me double trigger Scythecat Cub forever. Yeah, they said they had the 1 Ponder in hand. I would have sculpted with that then. Okay, put it to the test again. Now Atrax is in the bin. They will need Reanimate and Counterspell, and the Counterspell can't be Daze. Alright, Endurance. We got the GGs. Alright, so they didn't have Counterspell backup, but they did have a double send. Like, I don't know if they pondered into the second one, but if you have Entomb Reanimate and Tomb Reanimate, I'm definitely sending the first one. Sweet. We remain undefeated versus 2 of the premier combo decks in the format. On to the next round.
This video is sponsored by Moxfield.com, the easiest way to build Magic decks online. Moxfield supports over 30 formats, including Legacy and everything else you'll see on this channel. There's multiple customizations so you can interact with your deck how you want. Views such as text, grid, or stacks, and groupings like type, subtype, color, color identity, even artist. The site offers light mode, dark mode, and so much more. However you want to see your deck, Moxfield can provide it for you. Follow my Moxfield to keep up with the channel and what I'm playing in paper. I'll see you there.
I'm on the draw in round 3 versus Magic Dads, who is a known combo reanimator player. I'm going to try to find an Endurance. Opponent kept 7. I've got 3 Endurances. Can I trust Swords to Plowshares to do anything? Probably not. Oh no. Well, there's Bajuka Bog. I don't really want it in my hand. I don't think I can go any lower than this. I'm going to bottom Mother of Runes Wasteland. Like, Magic Dads usually plays Dark Ritual Reanimator, not the tempo one. Oh god, did I get tricked? Cycle Troll of Khazad-dûm, call a judge. What's this Wasteland? Wasteland Lotus Petal? Oh no. Are we playing against type today? Did I get got? I did. We're some white stompy deck. Alright, well, when you play against type, you get rewarded sometimes. Well done. Alright, so now I just need some mana. And mana I have found. I can't Zenith for 0 because of the Chalice. Cavern of Souls. Boromir in this deck, that's sweet. I love this card. Played that in CEDH for a while. Not as my commander, just in the 100. Alright, Seasoned Dungeoneer. Yeah, the Chalice saving them here, or else I would be able to fetch Dryad Arbor, untap, plow this, take the initiative. Chalice is a good card. Who knew? Do I want to give them more information? Can I win this game? Is it possible? I can Zenith for Dryad Arbor, or I can Zenith for Noble Hierarch here. Yeah, I guess we play on. Basic Noble Hierarch. This does give away what I'm playing, but I think that's okay in this environment. They have Plains and 2 Unknowns in hand. So I take 5, 10, 15, and I can't do anything about it. I could get Knight of the Reliquary in this turn. Alright, this is interesting. Ancient Tomb to their hand after making a land drop. So their 1 unknown card in hand has to be a creature, or else I get the initiative here. But I've used all my basics, dumbass. Alright. Well, I will slug in and try to get the initiative at least. They just like flash into Solitude or something. It's over. But I can't beat a Solitude anyway. All right, nothing to search for, but we have at least hopefully created some sort of problem for the opponent. I'm going to fetch for Savannah as not to give up that I've consigned a memory in my sideboard. Yeah, still no Mazavith in the deck, so no help coming from Knight of the Reliquary. What can I do with that? Yeah, like Tutoring Boseiju doesn't put it in my hand. That doesn't help. Another Dungeoneer. Yeah, leaving that on top makes a lot of sense. That just forces them through the initiative dungeon faster. I'm at 1. And they have a bunch of unkillable creatures. I need to draw Boseiju, like, from my hand. Is there anything else that helps here? No, it is literally Boseiju. Must be drawn. I have a 1-outer. Oh no. They had a spell all along? Oh. Alright. Could they not cast that last turn? I'm back to 6. It's like you didn't even play that turn. Fool. You fool. Alright, I'm dead. Alright. Got me with the deck pivot. That's fine. Okay. Force of Vigor, Outland Liberator, Consigned to Memory, all coming in. Prismatic Ending, Thraben Charm. Thraben Charm could deal damage to a creature. I don't think I want that. Prismatic Ending. Chalice of the Void was that entire game. I would have easily won that game if I could cast my 1-drops. Which is obviously like a silly thing to say versus a Chalice deck. Of course that's true. That's the point of that card. But it remains true. I think I do want Nadu here because it's a flyer, and just being able to fly over them and triggering Nadu 3 or 4 times could catch up with an initiative dungeon. Giver, Scrib Ranger. Scrib Ranger's a flyer, though. Collector Oof is good. Ramonep could get them in the lock. I do like Scrib Ranger and Endurance as flash creatures. I don't like them as the abilities that are written on the card. All right, I think I can live with this option, though. I don't need Bojuka Bog. I can get one of these things back in. Probably Scrib Ranger. It just comes down faster if I'm going to challenge the initiative. That's a place to do it. This targets Nadu. Okay. I'll do this. I think this hand is fine. I will keep it. I think I'm going to Flooded Strand pass here. As much as I would like to ramp, the Consign clipping Chalice could define the game. Cavern. I wasn't going to counter your spell. Chrome Mox. I could counter that. If they're trying to cast an Archon here. No, I have Swords of Plowshares, whatever. Chalice of the Void. Fetch for Tropical Island. And consign this to memory. That's not an Archon. I'm allowed to interact with it. Zenith first, so I don't surveil away something I would want. Reclaimer. I like that. It's just a lot more stats that can come down. Cavern on human. Are we going to see the Archon now? We are. Con. I'm going to plow this Archon and then cast Elvish Reclaimer. Or I could Zenith for 2. What 2 would I Zenith for? Collector Oof? I'm going to Zenith for 2. Cutting off their mana is frequently the best way to attack decks like this. Hell yeah. Strip mine you. The 3rd Cavern. Naming Cleric. So they could have Anointed Peacekeeper here. They do indeed. Probably naming Knight of the Reliquary. I can play the Reclaimer anyway, but it is small right now. Yep, Knight was named. Drew a land. This is +2. Fetch. I guess I get Tundra just to round out all my colors. And Big Knight of the Reliquary. Arrives larger than the Anointed Peacekeeper. That's important. Can they follow up? It's a 3-card hand. Land. Seasoned Dungeoneer. It is land. The Collector Roof did not save me. Bought me a turn. And this thing is a Cleric, which means they can attack now and get a trigger. And it has Vig, so it's free to do that. Lotus Petal hit. Can't block. Ooh, that's good. I'm going to play Elvish Reclaimer. And I'm going to wait until they target with the Forge. And then I'll Swords to Plowshares. Ooh, went into the Lost Well. Played around it. The Seasoned Dungeoneer attack trigger does target. I still have options here. They went top bottom with the Scry. Okay, there's an attack. Here's a Swords to Plowshares. Which also means I can activate Knight without paying 2 extra. Alright. They also drew Swords to Plowshares. So I'll pay the 2 extra. Knight. Sack. I guess Tundra. I don't have a Sajiri Step or a Talongate Scimitar in here, unfortunately. I could get Gaia's Cradle, a fetch land, Horizon Canopy, just draw a card. This is probably the most important turn of the game. Yeah, I think I'm going to get Horizon Canopy and just try to draw. But I guess if I'm doing that, I'll do it now so I gain an extra life. Plains, that's gone. I am aware of Talongate Scimitar as a card that exists, and I thought about it in deck building, but the slots build up fast when you're trying to layer one thing on top of another thing. Chalice, okay. Plow is off. Looking for Zenith, I guess. Wasting me off blue. Mother of Runes, hate that for me. Gaia's Cradle in the deck. Caracas, Wasteland. I'm gonna lose my Collector Oof here to get the initiative. Or they could block Dryad Arbor, just imagining that I need mana more than they do. Okay. Probably should have sacked that before damage. That was a spew. Yeah, I just full missed on that one. Okay. Maverick, insecurity, or unfamiliarity, getting me there. So they get to hit me, they get to explore. We are in a slugfest now, though. Archon of Amira on top. Willing to keep anything that is a creature here. You're the initiative. You can goad one of my creatures or get a treasure that doesn't work. Goading could be extremely powerful here if they actually hit something with stats. All right, into the treasure. So they're locked on Spooky Skeleton, then thrown to the Dead 3. Come on, don't cast spells. Oh, Archon is the top of your deck and the card in your hand. All right. Reclaimer, rotate away Boseiju. I would like Gaia's Cradle, I guess. Okay, I'm going to attack with Reclaimer. See if they want to block or just slug the initiative back and forth. They're willing to slug it out. I don't blame you. Lost Well. Scythecat Cub. Yeah, you're a little late. Definitely don't want Misty Rainforest. All right, bottom. And I might as well play the Windswept Heath. It's not helping in my hand. All right, we're pretty dead here. I needed their draw to just stumble a little bit, but after turning off Chrome Mox, they still just hit 4 lands in a row and curved out. That's no good. All right, now they got a Peacekeeper on top. They have a 4/1 blocker. I don't have a Questing Beast. They did recently just preview. I'm recording this during Edge of Eternity's preview season. They did just preview some 2-drop, like mini Questing Beast thing. All right, that's not it. GG's. Got me game 1. I mulliganed a otherwise solid hand because this person is known for playing Reanimator. Game 2, we knew what we were up against, and they just had a nice curve out of stuff despite my interaction. This is probably a terrible matchup, like even worse than the other 2 we played before. On to the next round. The BoshNRoll channel is proudly partnered with the Resleevables. In this YouTube series, hosts Patrick Sullivan and Patrick Chapin go set by set through Magic's past, leveraging their decades of experience as Pro Tour players and game designers to analyze the good, the bad, and the ugly of Magic's history. Each episode is a deep dive into the facts, mechanics, cycles, trivia, decks of the time, and historical context of the set. The hosts dig into notable cards of the era and their lasting impact today. Each set gets an award show where the hosts pick their favorite cards for categories such as Best, Worst, and Weirdest. And finally, give a letter grade for the set's overall success. Whether you want a history lesson or a nostalgia hit, The Resleevables has it at youtube.com/theresleevables. I'm on the play for round 4, no mana at all in my hand. I'm going to mulligan this. Come on now. Can't keep this either. Just 24 lands in the deck. Okay, a hand that I must keep. I guess I bottom Gearhulk, and Boseiju and Caracas could be like actual cards. I guess it's Caracas. All right. Hold on. I actually do need Tundra. It's definitely Gearhulk. I'm thinking, is Tundra worse than Caracas? Because Caracas could save me from some real problems. Tundra, I need blue, but I do have Windswept Teeth. I could get it. All right, I changed my mind. I'm keeping Caracas. Blooded Strand. I will go to my turn. Noble Hierarch, sweet. That lets me dance around a little bit here. Boseiju, Hierarch. They've got Esper-colored fetches. That could mean anything in Legacy, though. Underground Sea. Thoughtseize. My cards! My precious cards. Nadu's gone. The cool thing about them Thoughtseizing here, though, is my deck looks like Nadu Zenith and not like Maverick. I'm going to put a +1 counter on Scythecat Cub and then play Giver of Runes. And I'm actually going to pass because if I fetch now, I can't spread the counters around. The second trigger always doubles, and double 0 is 0. And if they have a removal spell, Scythecat Cub is the target anyway. Beastorm. Well, I didn't get Entomb Reanimated. Not yet, anyway. Could still happen. My plan is to fetch the Portico in this end step. And I think I'll put the counter on Noble Hierarch. Just trying to keep the eggs out of a single basket, as they say. That also keeps it alive from Bowmaster, which they are representing. Maybe I just can't fetch right now. If they have Bowmaster, that's really bad. But if I hold my land, it's fine. Bowmaster confirmed. All right. Targeting Hierarch. Glad I saved this fetch land. Lush Portico comes in. +1 this. Do not want Windswept Teeth. I'd rather have a spell, even though lands are still mostly fine for me. All right, big draws, big draws. Don't love it, but okay. Savannah, Cub, attack for 5 trample. This is the plan now. This is a huge creature. To be fair to my Mulligan, Thoughtseize, anemic game state here, I am just bashing with something huge. Ponder, shuffle. I hope they just die in 2 hits from this thing. That would be great. Oh, they're going to cast a Murktide here. It's 6/6. Okay, if I draw a land, I can still beat that thing in combat. I don't want to draw a land, though. Just give me a spell. Something, anything's useful, really. Lands and spells are good draws. That's not a bad place to be. Attack. If they block, I'll give this Pro Blue and just win the fight, which does open up removal spells on their turn, but their Murktide's gone at least. All right, Pro Blue. That's handled, but my shields are down. Brazen Bee. All right, I mean, that resets the size, but it's not dead. Animate dead Murktide Regent. Oh, yeah. You love that 2/3 flyer, don't you? Sure. Opponent is desperate right now. Real card? Real card? All right, that's kind of a real card. I'm going to lead on Cub, because if they do have Force of Will, I kind of like the Reclaimer being the one to resolve. All right, sweet. Reclaimer's in. Still the biggest creature on the board, or at least will be very soon. Oh no. Oh no, not like this. Yeah, they must have another Reanimate. They usually only play 1 Animate dead, though, so Reanimating here will put them to a pretty low life total. And if they don't have the Reanimate immediately, Bojuka Bog's in my lands package, but why would they cast Entomb if they don't have it? Yeah, alright. So they go to 2, and then back up to 5 immediately. I think I have to sack Noble Hierarch here. Yeah, that was an annoying thing to thread together on exactly that turn. Swords to Plowshares. Alright, well, I don't think we can win. Lands that I have access to do include Bojuka Bog, but it's too late for that to matter. Guess I'll play another Reclaimer and try to just bash out over the next 2 turns, but Archon of Cruelty is not a particularly raceable card. End step Bowmaster. Right, I'm going to give Reclaimer Pro Black, and then sack Giver of Runes. Tameo, I have Karekas for that. Wasteland. All right, end step. Bounce Tameo. Activate Reclaimer. Sack Boseiju, I guess. Mostly doesn't matter. Horizon Canopy is the card that I want, but they also have 2 Bowmasters in play, so that doesn't work. I could get a fetch land just to clear 1 more bad draw out of my deck. Right, I think I am going to do that. Just going to fetch in my upkeep and hope to draw Swords to Plowshares exactly. Nadu could block for a turn, so I guess I do have to reveal I have blue in my deck here. Swords to Plowshares exactly? Dead. Alright, we almost made a run out of that. Though, I will say, I did not consider the double of the counters on the Scythecat Cub, which already had a counter on it, when I milled away this fetch land. Because they did reanimate down to 2 on that turn, and I think that would have been 2 extra damage. Yeah, it would have been exactly 2 extra damage, so I may have blown that. But I still don't necessarily think it's right to keep a land in that spot. I just ran 3 lands in a row when I was ahead, and it gave them room to combo out. I don't think I feel bad about that, though if I was able to see the future, I would have done something different, which is not the same as making a mistake. I'm not afraid of making mistakes. I'm not convinced that was one. All right, Collector Oof, not good here. Is this where I shaved the Nadu package before? But I think Naduing this opponent is going to be really good for me. I don't think I need Ramanap here. Mother's really bad versus Bowmaster, though I am on the play where it's a little better. I think I'm still going to shave one. I could trim a Wasteland. It's not really my go-to plan, especially now that I cut Ramanap. Prismatic Ending answers some of the stuff we saw, but them being the Reanimator build. Alright, I'm going to try it like this. Very Macabre, we love to see it. I will keep, even though I am extremely soft to Wasteland right now. Get this Mother into play before Bowmasters can eat her alive. Alright, deck full of lands, bordered in a carpet of flowers. Open for the best here. Untapped with Mother. Got Reclaimer. Unfortunately, they now know I kept a 1-lander. Tamio doing stuff. Not a Wasteland. We did it. Land. Kinda counts. Noble Hierarch, get in there. I would daze this if I were them, if I had a daze. Right, attack with Reclaimer. Right, they're drawing a card in response, that's fine. Okay, grinding my way back into this game. By hook or by crook. Hopefully they just jam an Entomb Reanimate into this Very Macabre and give me a turn to rebuild and get up a few cards. Sheoldred's Edict. Oh, that's kind of annoying. Non-token creature of our choice. I think Reclaimer is my worst creature. Yeah, unfortunately. Okay, fetch. Thoughtseize. Alright, dig in. Probably losing Very Macabre here. Unless they're just nowhere near reanimating and they're more worried about Knight of the Reliquary somehow. Alright, they're working through the Scythecat Cubs. That's interesting. I guess they do fear the damage backlash more than the disruption. Oh my god. Hook this to my veins. That resolved. Alright, second main. Yes, make green green. Do I want to play around days? I guess is the question. I think I do. Alright, Scythecat Cub, you're in. I'm just playing carefully here, not tapping Mother, not tapping into days. Now mana's unlocked pretty well, as long as I don't die. And they just looked at my hand and weren't worried about Very Macabre, so I don't think that's the plan. Yeah, that's pretty good. Wasteland, that's pretty good too. Goodbye. Not a bad turn to draw land. Yes, and make green. Savannah. Cat. Do I want to Endurance here? Or Knight? There are creature, land, instant, sorcery in the graveyard. I could remove instant and sorcery. Alright, I'm going to cast Endurance. That blocks Tamio better and takes more card types out of the graveyard. Discarding a Macabre could remove land, but it is itself a creature, so exiling the 2 creatures wouldn't change anything. Now I have 2 creatures bigger than Barrogoyf. Tamio has to stop attacking. And I would just trade if they attack with Barrogoyf. Like, just block with Endurance. And not try to protect it with Mother. I've missed Mother of Runes in this format. I will say that. I'm never the one playing it. I'm usually the one trying to work through it. Or so thankful that I had the removal spell on the first turn for it. But still, I have missed the presence of the card. Alright, this land can flip Tamio, if they want to do that. Alright, doesn't seem like they do. Green Sun Zenith. Who do I have? I have Nadu. I have Gearhulk. Keen-Eyed Curator, that one's kind of a sicko here. The Zenith for 3 I would have to tap out, though. Which I'm not willing to do. I've been playing so hard around days. Alright, make green, cast Knight of the Reliquary. Force of Will, sure. You win that fight. Hopefully I have hidden the more important card from you. Fetch, that instant puts Barrogoyf to 3-4. Clue, crack. Back up to 4 cards in hand. About to be 5 when they draw. But they are out of tricky little resources to play with. Barragoyf's coming in. Nope, change your mind. They know about the Fairy Macabre. Like, if I block with Endurance, let damage resolve, Barragoyf has 3 damage on it, then Macabre the 2 lands out of graveyards, the Goyf will die. And it seems like they're not willing to play chicken with the mother. I dumped another land. It makes that a little trickier, but now they have 4 islands in play. Let's go. Yes, green. Zenith for 3. I could Keen-Eyed Curator and control the Barragoyf forever, or I could Nadu and really try to get something else going here. I think I want Nadu. Let's make this weird. All right, sweet. I can Thraben Charm now to hit a graveyard or to just kill Barragoyf outright. Thoughtseize. Disappointing. I will respond by trying to kill Barragoyf. I think. What if their hand is Entomb Reanimate? Okay, Thoughtseize resolves. It sucks that I have to balance around that. If I had just tutored the Curator, I could have gone after Barragoyf here. Okay, so Barragoyf does work now. I would hate to unlock a giant collection of Orcish Bowmasters from hand that wipe out my whole board. There are 2 instants. There's 3 lands, there's a sorcery. I can't get creatures, so I can't actually beat this thing unless I double block. What if I do that? What if I just double block and let them go to damage? Who's favored there? I could also just let it hit me. If I chump with Endurance... Oh no, I have Nadu now, so Tamio's still not a problem. I think I will chump with Endurance. Yeah, the Orcish Bowmaster. The threat of Bowmaster is so scary here. But if I draw a fetch land, I can start Naduing, and I'm out of Bowmaster range. Just like a land is actually a great draw here. Make white, play Giver. I think I have to take a hit from Barragoyf this turn. I could attack with Scythecat Cub. Yeah, I'll put some damage back on their face here. Next turn, if I have Giver and Mother available, I can brick up the Barragoyf. They fetched and milled away a Flooded Strand. Wasteland. Yeah, that barely matters. Tamio's attacking. They must have Brainstorm then. Block Tamio. I am not going to block Barragoyf. I'll take my chances here on 1 flip. It's just 4 damage. I don't really want them finding cards, but that's probably going to happen anyway. They drew 1 card off Tamio. If they Brainstorm, they can flip into Planeswalker mode. Any like Fatal Push they cast could become extremely treacherous, because if I start flipping lands, the Scythecat Cub starts triggering. This is a tenuous, dangerous balance that they find themselves in here. They hit another Barragoyf and a Harbinger of the Seas. Well, Harbinger is not going to help you versus Carpet of Flowers. Oh, Tamio's there too. They basically hit all 3 of the creatures their deck plays. Yeah, probably just another Barragoyf is the way to go. And I don't have priority right now to exile these. This is all 1 ability. The mill and the pickup happens all at once. I do have also an outside shot of, if I tap Mother of Runes and they Bowmaster it, if my blind flip off Nadu is a land, Mother survives from a +1 counter. I don't think I'm in a spot where I have to do that yet, but that is available. Okay. They want to take their chances. All right, please flip a land. Oh yeah, easy money. Don't even have to use it. And it triggers again. You broke the dam. We're going nuts. Another one. All right, I'm going to spread this around. Oh wait, I can't sort it around. Or no, I can. I have fetch lands in play. Now let's just clear this stack, and then I'll use the fetch lands. I'll make Mother of Runes a 3/3, and then I have fetch lands to bury them in their end step. Don't even have to use the Mother now. Okay, yeah, they're just conceding to that. Hell yeah. All right, Nadu took 4 matches, but finally did something. That was awesome. That was actually just pristine gameplay. On the draw, Mother of Runes is much worse. They have these Barragoyfs and stuff. How do I get Prismatic Ending in here? The answer is Bright Glass Gear Hulk, but I'm trying to leave it alone. I love that card. I don't think I want to cut another land. Yeah, Bright Glass Gear Hulk tutoring the Shuko and the Carpet of Flowers in this matchup would be so sick. Or just 2 3/4s. Scrib Ranger is excellent against Murktide, but terrible against Bowmaster. Alright, I think Scrib Ranger is my cut for Prismatic Ending. Sorry, fella. We will have to deal with Murktide with our Swords to Plowshares. Oh, this hand is bad. Yeah, I guess I mulligan. And this is a 1-drop that survives. Bowmaster, but this hand just gets completely roasted by a reanimate. And the Arbor's in my hand. All right, I'll mulligan. All right, Fairy Macabre. Trusty old Fairy Macabre is always there. I'm going to keep this in bottom Horizon Canopy. Opponent's also on 6. Fetch land, Ponder. Sweet. Hopefully, once again, they just turbo reanimate, figure they're on the play, go for it turn 2. Maybe they have a Daze or a Force to protect it instead of a Thoughtseize. I would sign up for that game. Did not shuffle. Alright, I'm just going to get the Dryad Arbor. If they have Bowmaster, so be it. But if they don't, this is a quick 4/4 Scythecat Cub. And ramping turn 1 makes me feel like they'd be more pressured to Entomb Reanimate if they had it. Tamiyo, that's not a Bowmaster. Fatal Push is fine. Alright, Daze could get me here, but I'm cubbing out. Find me in the Cub. Cub can meaningfully challenge flip Planeswalker Tamiyo too. That's sick. A fetch. 3 mana. We don't like Barrogoyf. We never like that guy. All right, land, trigger, fetch, Tundra, trigger, Nadu. They didn't have a counterspell last turn. I'm going to play like they have nothing. I have to take a hit from Barrogoyf, but if they try to interact with one of these things, the same thing that happened last game risks happening, where I just suddenly flip 4 cards off my deck. All right. Can't afford to tangle with this right now. Mother of Ruins, I miss you so. Tamiyo's blocked, though. Ooh, just a mill 4. No card. That's great. The Thoughtseize gone. That's the card I'm kind of most worried about here, other than the Barrogoyf itself. This Murktide's pretty bad, too. Alright, this will be a great time to draw that Shuko in my deck. Though Mr. Rainforest does a pretty good Shuko impression. They drew with their clue. Brainstorm. Tamiyo's gonna flip here. Flip and then die. They still have their land drop if they come up with Fatal Push. That's mildly disruptive to me. Plus Tamiyo. Ooh, they passed the turn. Come on, deck. Deliver the goods. Zenith for 3. Okay. I'm going to start with Misty Rainforest. And I'm going to make Cub into a unit. All right, flipped again. This will be the second trigger. Hit another Zenith. Let the triggers resolve so I'm not confused by Cub anymore. Can I just kill my opponent here? Maybe a bold question, but one that I am asking in earnest. Tropical Island. Now Nadu needs some triggers. Spread the love around. Reclaimer. Fetch. Savannah. Nadu. Another counter on Nadu, I guess. Okay. Now I have a lot of mana to Zenith with. I could make Barrogoyf a 1/2. That sounds pretty good. I could get Keen-Eyed Curator and be more nitpicky with it. Yeah, I think I want a Zenith for 3, though. Zenith for 3. Resolved, wow. Saying there's a chance. Endurance. Target my opponent's graveyard. Barrogoyf is a wuss baby now. Wow, they're conceding! We did it! Nadu Maverick. Nadu took 4 rounds to kick in, but boy did he ever. On to the final round. We're a few rounds into the video. If you're still here and having fun, remember to hit that subscribe button. And if you want to play what I'm playing, use code BOSH for 5% off your order at toamagic.com. Eternal lives here. I'm on the draw. In the final round, positive record is locked. Bread and butter 4-1 on the line. Here I have the entire Nadu package ready to go. Volcanic Island. Tamiyo. Okay. This double wasteland hand might be treacherous, but Tamiyo doesn't deal damage. If that was Dragon's Rage Channeler or Delver, I think I might behave differently. If I only had 1 wasteland, I might behave differently. But if I can actually knock them down, which I cannot do, because now they have a basic. All right. I stood my ground. Looks like we are against some sort of is it tempo strategy. And I think I should fetch basic forest here and try to get my Dryad Arbor into the mix. I don't mind them dazing this that much. There's a million ways that Delver can kill Dryad Arbor. Wasteland, Lightning Bolt, Preordain. That's 2 draws this turn. They're probably looking for Lightning Bolt if they don't have it yet. Top bottom. Found something they like. Preordain. So they're going to flip Tamiyo here. All right. Endurance. Just a moment late. I think I'm going to play Scythecat Cub here and try to flush a Daze out. Like, this is extremely days worthy if they have it. And if they don't have it, then I have higher confidence in Nadu next turn. All right, days, that's fine. We knew that was possible. Caracas, Shuko. Shuko resolved, equip Dried Arbor, and pass. Now I can play Nadu next turn around days. Of course, Force of Will is a card that they might play. This Tameo is ticking up. Lightning Bolt puts me back behind days. Yeah, there's a bolt. All right, if they have Force of Will, it doesn't matter what I do. I think I'm going to use Endurance this turn. Because Endurance it's a threat to Tameo. It messes with their graveyard. I'm going to give them a chance. All right, so they plus Tameo. I'm going to Endurance now so they can't play a Murktide. And now they didn't fight over that. I get Unholy Heated on the way through. Okay. That's a reasonable response. They didn't have Delirium anyway. Wow, I didn't count that either. Whoops, that's a big mistake. Yeah, they literally just didn't have Delirium. Or they had 2 bolts. That plays too. 2 cards left. Has to be Force Blue card here. But it's very good if it is. Bright Glass Gear Hulk, my beloved. Alright, Nadu has to be cast with these lands. Brainstorm in response, trying to come up with Force Blue card. I mean, when they draw half their deck, they could probably overcome Nadu anyway, but it would be cool if they didn't. Alright, we're flipping. Mother of Runes, Rain Sun Zenith, cast Mother of Runes, get 2 more flips. Hierarch, come on. Untapped Forest, keep the chain going. Dang it. Alright. Well, they get to draw half their deck, but I do have cool stuff going on. Yeah, there you go. Draw 25. Pretty good. Scalding Tarn. 3 red mana. We actually know that a Lightning Bolt and an Unholy Heat were on the bottom half of their deck from the Endurance. Cutter. Channeler, which will trigger the Cutter. Bobble. Lots of stuff moving here. I do have an Endurance, but I'm sure they have a Force of Will now in half their deck. Yeah, they're storming out hard. It's a lot of baubles. Milled away an Unholy Heat, so they either already have an answer to Nadu or they're not worried about it. Oh, hell yeah, this rules. All 4. Still don't have Delirium. All right, the bobbling has begun. All 4 of them seem to be popping off here. Bolting my Mother of Runes. All right, that fetch land doesn't help me currently. My Dryad Arbor's already in the graveyard. I guess I can fetch my Lush Portico that's still in the deck. All right, you're dead, Mother. I miss you. Miss you already. Take 7 from this monk. Is there something better to Zenith for? Like, if I Zenith for Cub next turn, I'd rather have the fetch land available. But what universe do I think I live in where that would actually resolve? All right, I will get the Portico. And we're just doing Nado flips. That's the plan. Well, there's Cub anyway. That's the card I wanted. All right. You draw 4 for your baubles. They are tapped out, which doesn't stop Force of Will. Okay. Noble Hierarch. Just gonna see how jumpy they are in their forces. Will they counter literally anything? Seems like not. They'll probably counter this one. This is the one that actually threatens their life. Like, if I can get Nadu up to 17, I can win right now. Yep, Force of Will spent on that. Dragon's Rage Channeler is now delirious. Alright. We'll start flipping. Savannah. Elvish Reclaimer. Raminep Excavator. Keen-Eyed Curator. Interesting. Alright, Elvish Reclaimer I'm casting. It's just a 1-drop I can target a few more times. If they force here, they do trigger Quarry Steel Cutter. Yep, there's that. They're not bottoming cards anymore. That's scary. Okay, Zenith unfortunately puts me into Daze range. I could Endurance myself, then Zenith for 1. Does Endurancing myself make any sense? Maybe. I'll see if they even let Endurance resolve. We'll test that first. Alright, it did resolve, and yeah, I'll target myself. The bold strat here. Just don't want to get dazed on a turn where I have this much mana. Alright, I'm still getting dazed. but I can pay for it. Good chance they have more than one. Say the line, Bart. That's what drawing half your deck does. All right, cool. I got the Dried Arbor. Get some more flips. Swords to Plowshares. That's almost a card I want. All right. I ran out of juice right at the end. Do I care about Tamiyo? I think the answer has to be no. I can't attack with Nadu. I need it to block. It's probably more useful to me if Dried Arbor is holding my Shuko into the next turn. All right. They drew half their deck. What do you want from me here? Another Steel Cutter. At this point, the lightning bolts to the face are probably enough to win. Yeah, bolting my head. Good call. That does not trigger Nadu and does reduce my life total. They've got 2 3/3s and... Oh, yeah. All right. Okay. All right. My Caracas showed up a little late that game, but we get another one. Hydroblast, Carpet, Prismatic Ending, Raven Charm. Force of Vigor does wipe out Steel Cutters, but I don't think I want that going on specifically. I think Sylvan Safekeeper can come out. Collector Oof for sure. I don't think I want Curator. Obviously it does. They do use their graveyard, but I'm leaving in the 3 Endurances and the Bajuka Bog. I'm going to shave a Wasteland. Squirp Ranger, good against some stuff, bad against other stuff. Outland Liberator and Force of Vigor both interact with Steel Cutter if I want that. I really like the Mothers and Givers. I like anything that is mana. I think I'll cut the Ramanap here as well and just not try to waste lock them. Focus on winning the game on the board. That was close. We almost kept up with a Tamiyo. I think on the play I win that game. Right, on the play with a pretty great hand, I'm going to keep... I would like a basic Forest and Noble Hierarch to start off here. I need to do something to challenge the board at some point, but I do have the first couple threats answered. Lush Portico. I don't think I need another Hierarch here. And I'm going to plow this Dragon's Rage Channeler. I'm going to save Hydroblast for Steel Cutter. I guess if I hadn't surveilled, I could have had Hydroblast and Plow available there. Basic Plains represents Endurance. I don't want my Trop Wastelanded now that I don't have Hierarch. Like if I just play Trop in case they play Steel Cutter and then they Wasteland instead. Look at that shit. Alright, I'll float a green. Yeah, I'm not just going to run Endurance into Daze. I'm under no real pressure here. They've already... No, they have not played a spell this turn. Never mind. Alright, I'm going to destroy Corey Steel Cutter. Opponent asks what the name of the deck is. Bant Maverick. Walter White meme, say my name. B-Storm. The land's a little scary. This could represent Murktide right now. They just play a 5/5. Not with that mana. Oh shit. They're retapping. Just wait. Let me play Endurance before you go for Murktide. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. No! Alright. Hard mode activated. Look at me with my bounty of riches here. And 2 of these do beat Murktide. Steel Cutter. Yep, here's this thing coming at me. End step Endurance. Do I target myself? That puts Plow, Portico, and Hydroblast back in my deck, but also 2 Hierarchs and a land that I don't want. I do have a fetch land to access that Portico. They're fetching and surveilling in response to Endurance. That's interesting. Now I might just target them. Not if they mill a spell, though. Okay, I'm not going to target them. Daze triggers Steel Cutter. I'll pay. I was right to play around that. And I'm going to target myself, get these useful cards back in the deck, and not make their Murktide 2 points bigger. Mother! Tell your Murktide not to look my way. Endurance is bigger than Monk Token. At least for now. That could change quickly. Double Endurance beating Murktide is pretty sweet. A second Murktide here would grow the first one, and flashing an Endurance would not help me avoid that fate. Oh, nasty. Alright, 6/6 Murktide, you got it. Alright, the re-endurancing. This does not change the math on this combat. Target me again. They don't have Delirium. A Lightning Bolt will finish off my Endurances here. The secret blocking mode, it was said in the chat. It's not a secret if you've played with Endurance a few times. Turns out it has a big fat ass. Okay, they didn't bolt before damage, which would have trampled 1 point over, so I think they don't have bolt at all. And I'll get that Lush Portico that I just unlocked out of my deck. Swords to Plowshares. Bank it. I don't need it right now, but I will need it someday. Alright, now I've got Mother plus Endurance. Big fat booty that they're not allowed to touch. Channeler. Bauble. Ooh, that's risky. If you get Delirium, you have to fight. But I guess if it's a 4-4, it's not a problem. The secret equip mode of Corey Steelcutter. That bottom line. Okay, they didn't equip. Are they going to start pushing chump attacks? No. Okay, cool. They know my top card. We're both on low resources here. Oh, my top card was good. That's fun. I guess I'm just going to Hydroblast Corey Steelcutter. They did have Pyroblast. I did mostly play game 1 around Nadu, which is really annoying that I accidentally revealed my blue splash. The 3 blue cards in my deck actually did come up in game 1. Okay, so they had Pyroblast for that. That's fine. I did it now on my turn, so it's harder to trigger Corey Steelcutter. It looks like they have it anyway. Lightning Bolt, my smelly face. They're surveilling to the top. Found something they like there. They have to re-equip Corey Steel if they don't want Dragon's Rage Channeler to just die. Into Daze, Brainstorm moving cards around. Any spell's pretty good here. They have a critical mass of monks at this point. Another cutter. Okay. Oh, they've already played 2 spells this turn, so that one can't trigger. But the first one does. And they're now out of mana to re-equip onto DRC. So DRC is just going to die here. And then I block and plow. Okay. Block. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I take 5 this turn. Plow one of the monks. Never feels good to do that, but it feels good not to lose the game. Protection from white. Okay. We survived that onslaught. Oh my god, the boy is here! What do I do? What do I do? Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay. I could get Carpet of Flowers and Elvish Reclaimer. Oh my god. I'm so excited. I'm blushing. What do I do? Alright. Green, white, green, white. Tutor, baby. Do I want Carpet, or do I just want to get 2 Reclaimers? Reclaimer is not large yet. Oh, that sucks. I guess I just want 2 Reclaimers, now that I think about it a little bit. Just having guaranteed follow-up action is probably more important right now to me than a burst of mana. I'm good on mana. Don't draw Murktide Regent. Yeah, Murktide and then naturally equip Corey Steelcutter. Cooks me. Let's see a shuffle and a pass the turn. Shuffle, hit a land. Shuffle, hit a land. Why doesn't this have lifelink? I need this to have lifelink. Did not shuffle Ponder. No, don't have Lightning Bolt. Come on! That's just lethal, right? They have 5 attackers now to my 3-4 blockers. Boo! Boo! Did you not see me cast Bright Glass Gearhulk? Give me a fucking break. Yeah, and the 2 little ones are exactly 2/2. 1 more life point, we win this game. Or not win this game, but survive the turn. Alright. Block, 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 dead. Made a fight out of that, for real. Alright, Bright Glass Gearhulk showed up, tried to give us a chance at the very end. This deck was a lot of fun. I mean, if it's an uphill battle versus the brutal pace of today's Legacy, but we held our own. None of the matches were shit clownings, and we did play against Reanimator twice and Mystic Forge combo. That final Delver round came down to basically play draw in game 1, and then did Ponder hit the nuts on the final turn. Like that. I mean, we acquitted ourselves admirably here and had a lot of fun doing it. So I think we met the challenge from that Maverick Joe. You can, of course, tune every one of these slots. Maverick is extremely customizable. You have to, like, you know, Scrib Ranger wasn't very good. Might not need that. Sylvan Safekeeper, who knows? Like, that's good with Nadu, not necessarily good with everything else, especially if we have a bunch of Mothers and Givers already. Is 3 Endurance and Keen-Eyed Curator too much graveyard hate, or the correct amount of that? Like, you could go -1 Endurance. You could play 4 Endurance and no Curator. The sideboard, you do whatever you want with this. 4 Hydroblasts, so you're just better suited versus Corey Steelcutter. Play Line of the Void, Mindbreak Trap, any green card imaginable. The customization of Maverick is really a beautiful thing, and this is the build that I played today, and I'm quite happy with the gameplay and the result. Maverick Joe, thank you for asking me to do this. Hope this was inspiring for your future Maverick brewing. Everybody, thanks for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Check out the Patreon to support the channel, and I'll see you next time.